Thank you for braving the rain to come out. Yeah. A couple technical difficulties, but we're working through everything and glad you guys made it. So I am Phil from Mural Arts. I'm the director of Community Murals. And if you know anything about Mural Arts, there's 6 main programmatic departments. Community Murals is the department that focuses on history. So in some cases, that's the history of salsa dancing, the history of Black community organizing, the history of specific plants native to Philadelphia. So we help communities amplify their voices through public art and through traditional history projects. And Philadelphia has many firsts. Sometimes Philadelphia history is the history of the nation. In many cases, it's the history of the world. And when we talk about graffiti, that's the case. Many people are aware of the aesthetic of graffiti, but don't know that graffiti started with youth in the late 1960s. This modern graffiti behemoth that changed the world and transformed how we see things and how we see art and how corporations have borrowed from it and benefited from it. Started in Philadelphia, and we want to acknowledge that, and that's the ethos of today's talk and the project that's connected to today's talk. But before we get into the panel discussion, I want to give a hearty thank you to the library, the main branch that has been so gracious and welcoming of us for this talk today. Thanks to Dr. Sims and his team, Renee and Ezekiel and Marcus and Alexis. Thank you guys for having us. And what we have for you today is really the seed, the beginning of a project to honor Philadelphia graffiti through muralism. It's just a start. It's a big subculture with a lot of people, a lot of important players, a lot of key stories. Sadly, many of those stories
What's your name? I'm good.
are being, left out of the larger story of the birth of graffiti. So we're trying to give people their flowers while they're still here to smell them and add to the public record of the history of graffiti. So how did we get here? The goal was to create a multimedia mural project where we could select some voices to start this journey of documenting the history of graffiti. Multimedia in this case means creating a series of documentaries, like micro documentaries, focusing on a few artists. We partnered with the Museum of Graffiti in Miami to be a house, a holding place for these stories. So the stories that we create with this project will be anchored in the permanent installation of the Museum of Graffiti to give the project a national voice and recognition. Again, this is just the start. Then we would identify a mural location in Brewery Town. 3 of the artists that you'll hear from today are from Brewery Town. And then the goal is to pay local artists to have a barrier-free way of learning how to make murals if they want to, and get paid to do it in the creation of this project that honors the history that they're close to. So that's it in a nutshell. I think the journey that got us here led us to Cool Cone.
Boom!
And so these artists that we'll hear more about led us to Dawood Anyabwile, who started as an airbrush artist and a graffiti artist in the city, but is a world-renowned illustrator, an animator, and really a storyteller. And I think this project is just steeped in stories and personal narratives and history, and it's a big task to interpret all of that and turn it into imagery. And that said, that's enough of me talking. Today we have an awesome moderator who has also left an indelible mark on Philadelphia graffiti, and graffiti culture at large. We are joined today by Master Prink 123.
Yay!
So, here's a quick shot of Cornbread and Southern Brewery Town on the short shot when we were shooting, rather, and some images of Dawood's work from Brother Man Comics.
Wow.
For those who aren't familiar, there's lots more. One image doesn't do these artists for Dawood justice. But we have some images from Master Frank. Part in the short presentation. These artists are prolific, and we just have 2 images each. But Master Frank is here with us today. Philadelphia Weekly called him the master of mimicry. Cornbread called him the second Cornbread. Since 1976, when he first started writing, he has been called the mayor of graffiti, sly artistic master, and the undisputed king of style. He walked shoulder to shoulder with notorious Philadelphia crews and hand with infamous New York crews as well. While on former Mayor Wilson Good's top 10 most wanted graffiti writers list, he led the writers in the second golden era in the mid-1980s under the Children of Doom COD crew banner as their president. Preacher, entrepreneur, businessman, artist, Master Frank 123, welcome to the
Let us give Mr. Osbury a round of applause, everybody. Thank you for coming out in the liquid sunshine and making your way to experience something that has not been done, but shall go down in the annals of history. On our stage, we have over 120 years of experiences combined. And this is just a percentage of those that represent our culture, those who are with us and those who have gone on. Let's give them a hand clap. We're celebrating the legacy and the agenda to forge Brewery Town into public record. Now, I've been to New York many times, and the writers there say, well, we don't know about Philadelphia history. And many things are documented about New York, but it started here. Look at someone say it started here. Started here.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Thank you for replying. The exploits have shaped the landscape of style, and it has influenced a family, and I put quote unquote family, that shall go down in infamy. On the stage, I'm gonna ask you to stand. I don't wanna call your name. I'm gonna do this introduction. And audience, I'm gonna ask you to hold your applause until we have covered everybody. Is that all right? Yeah. Dawood Anyabwile. I can feel the anticipation. Has earned an Emmy Award, Double Glyph Comics Award, and the key to the city of Kansas for his remarkable contributions to children's well-being. He has also honored the Lifetime Achievement Award from the East Coast Black Age Comics Convention in 1992. He gained attention as a nominee for the Will Eisner Award's Best Artist category in San Diego, California, on San Diego Comic-Con for his groundbreaking series, Brother Man, Dictator of Discipline. The first comic book to showcase and highlight graffiti within its storytelling. Cool Cone, dangerous Cool Cone. The one and only, the original. Originally known as Dangerous Cool Cone, Cone took his art form in 1968, inspired by other North Philadelphian artists to become before him, raised around 35th Girard. Cone saw all writing as creative, nonviolent outlet, and became the first president of the Imperial Casanova Persuaders, ICP.
Oh my God.
The first social club for war writers for people who wanted to be lovers and not fighters. ICP became a name known across the city that maintains a legacy to this day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That's it?
Cornbread.
Yeah! Oh.
Cornbread, Dal McCray, the legend of legends. Known by his tag name Cornbread as a graffiti artist from North Philadelphia, credited with being the first modern graffiti artist, having started in 1965. Dal McCray was born in North Philadelphia in 1953 and raised in Burrytown, a neighborhood of North Philadelphia. He is a public speaker and youth advocate. Thank you, Cornbread.
That's all you get.
Sub. King Submarine, passionately called Sub. An artist with legend and king status in Philadelphia graffiti, Sub is a prolific artist staple in Burrytown, North Philadelphia, where he owns and works Supreme Cuts Barbershop. Sub started writing in 1976, focused on mastering the in-art tagging styles from gang and social club graffiti in his neighborhood. Sub is a mentor to younger graffiti artists, a historian, and a businessman.
There you go.
I'm gonna ask everyone, all of our guests to stand up, and all of our panelists to stand. Let us all stand up to our feet and applaud their accomplishments.
I'm just, so we can sit down.
Okay, while we're sitting, we want to invite all of the graffiti artists who are in the building, and if you're an artist, come down to the front, because later on we'll be having questions, we'll be close by. Yes, please come on down. We invite you, come on down. And artists, graffiti artists.
Come on, so, watch it, come on. Curve. Come on.
Don't be ashamed, right? You're not ashamed when you're right. Okay, hey, thank you, Uncle Lewis. Ex-graffiti artist. Right there. No. There's seats in the conference, down here in the assembly. Well, I'm not sure about you, but I am excited to be here today, and I'm ready to walk away with new wisdom and new knowledge. Is that all right? All right, let's give it a applause. Okay, you may be seated, gentlemen. I have had the opportunity to create some questions to our panelists. And, you know, one of the hardest things is asking the right question from a graffiti artist. Most journalists are not sure what to ask or what to inquire, because it's a culture that's protected by a code, like all cultures. You have to be in the culture to get to understand the language. So this is going to be an unfolding of our language, being birthed in Burrytown, in the community where Cornbread grew up, and as it expands throughout to New York City and then to the world. So we're recognizing that this evening. So, the first question I'm going to ask, I'm going to start with you, Dawood, and we're going to go from right to right, down to sub. And what sets graffiti apart from other cities? Philadelphia graffiti, what sets us apart from other cities?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, thank you to Mural Arts, brother Phil Asbury, my brother Master Prink right here, we go way back, and everyone else for showing up and the legends that we have on stage and in the audience as well. I would say, I came a generation after these brothers here, and just as a young person growing up in the city, I kind of always saw and I had family in Jersey City, so growing up, me and my brothers grew up here in Philly, but my parents from Jersey City, so that was like our second home every summer. So I was able to see the difference between what was going on up there in the New York, North Jersey area and the writing styles here in Philly. And there was kind of, I think the style of tagging, and I think the aggressiveness of the tagging, the size, when I was in high school, dudes just take up the whole door. You know what I mean? One tag would be the whole door, and I don't think up in Jersey, and I didn't see that. I mean, I saw some dope stuff up there, but it wasn't done in that unique style that was Philly, the Wickeds, and just kind of like I think it's the energy and the language of it. Sometimes it's hard to explain, because a lot of times I try to explain to people, and I'll be like, give me a piece of paper, I'll show you. You know what I mean? I have to do it like that. But just to sum it up in a nutshell, I think because Philly is like a tagging city, New York kind of brought the art, the pieces, and the things like that. And Philly still is recognized globally as the tagging city, the city, with mad hand styles.
So Cone, what are your thoughts about that?
I've been around the country, and I think from what I've seen, a lot of us has a lot of firsts, because a lot of our styles that they got here or originated here, a lot of people around the country call them gangster hands. I didn't know what a gangster hand was until people started telling me about it. I just threw my name up there so the president could read it. But I'm just saying, I noticed that around the country, we gotta be first. I remember we had the Anti-Graffiti Network. I see the murals all around the country everywhere. And everywhere I go, it reminds me of my city, because we were the first ones that started. First ones I seen start having murals. First ones I started seeing trying to do buses and all that with art. So, I gotta give our city props for that, you know what I mean? And then I seen New York look like they took everything on a different level. And I guess T-Bone, and I gotta give him his props and stuff in the city, because they one of the first ones to start doing the balloon letters that I seen, because I was in the Rizzo era. We didn't have time to write our name up there. We called it hit and split, because we was on that list. They was looking for us, and I just didn't want to be caught, because I did get caught a couple times. They took us in a neighborhood. Well, I was black. They took us in a white neighborhood and just let us out, and we had to run home. Then I've been caught right across the street from the Youth Study Center, and I had my brand new John Colas double-breasted leather burgundy, and I got sprayed silver. So I gotta give us our props in the city here, man, for being the first for a lot of stuff. So that's the way I look at it. Fred, you've been more places than me. What's your take, brother?
Testing, Kenny.
Yeah.
You talking about gangster. I think the props needs to be given to Notorious Big. Notorious Big is the first one that came out with the gangster hand.
Wicked.
And I didn't know that.
He's one.
And somebody brought that to my attention. He started it. Notorious Big started it. Right. In fact, I remember Notorious Big being at one time being the president of
Sam Washington.
no, not that.
He's
the president.
Excuse me, Conrad.
No, he was the president of Graph X.
Oh, also the president of Slide.
was vice president for youth.
Corporate, can we pause right here and have, Notorious Big, wave your hands so everybody can see where you are?
Stand up, Big, stand up, Big, big round of applause. Back there, big round of applause. Wicked.
Thank you, you may continue, sir. Thank you, Corporate.
And, Philadelphia was considered the city that had children, who knew no bounds of recognition, who craved for recognition, at least I did. And we became the graffiti capital of the world. And the city of Philadelphia, the graffiti, and then the city of Philadelphia went on unchecked for 17 years. And we didn't have another planet. And a lot of the mayors overlooked it because most of it was in black neighborhoods. And we got a first black mayor, Wilson Good. His top priority was to rid the city of graffiti and turn it into city business. And I went there for a job and he hired me. And I asked him, where do we begin? He said, 10 blocks this way, 10 blocks this way, 10 blocks this way, 10 blocks that way. And we did that, I don't know how many years until the city was graffiti free. There's no graffiti in the city of Philadelphia. A lot of people thought that I was a snitch because I joined the anti-graffiti network, which removes the graffiti from the walls. But I had went away from New York. I lived in New York for 5 years. And what am I saying was, I started this shit. So when I got back, it was like, you started it, you played it. So I got with Wilson Good, James Golden, and Merle Arts wasn't part of it. Merle Arts was part of it, Wilson Good program. James Golden, Tim Spencer, myself, a lot of us, we cleaned the city. Not today we had problems with the mural being bashed. We had a summit last year to address the problem. This problem continued to mushroom, it's like almost out of control. So I'm gonna ask us somewhere probably 2024, we're having a conference, so we can address this issue that's bothering the Merle Arts, bothers me as well. So,
We'll talk about the evolution of graffiti.
We're answering the question.
What was
We're
the
answering the
question?
question. What sets Philadelphia graffiti apart from other cities?
Multiple, various hand styles, I would say. From the gangster hands, from Cool Cone, back in Cornbread and Lewis, and Cowboy, and all those guys back Crazy and all of them, back in that era. The gangster hand. And then all in the 70s, all styles derive and come from and evolve from the 70s. From the gangster hand to the Wicked, to wild style Wicked. That's New York took it to another level. And they put the big bubble letters, as he says. They took the wild style, the equivalent to our Wicked. And that's what New York did. I can say exotic print came from the 70s as well. Writers like Weed Ass Me, he would do it with the W and the E's, the flat bottom E's. To me, I think he might be the godfather of what you call, exotic prints. To all different styles, Philly just covered all genres and areas of every style imaginable. We mastered it all. And that's my take on that.
Excellent. Let's give him a hand clap on that. I was just curious because it's been constant in Philadelphia that we have to master other styles, other hands. Because remember in the 70s, when I came through, you couldn't just write your name. They wanted to say, how many other names can you write?
You had to be a mimic.
If you only could write 2 minutes names, that was not sufficient. But to gain respect, you had to have a lot of hands. Isn't that correct?
That's correct. That's
Let's
respect, right?
put some hands together for that. I want to go in another direction, but we're going to do the question and answer so everyone here can hear the voices from within the tunnels, the trains, the trolleys, the buses on the rooftops. Because the writers on the stage and the writers before us and the writers who are here, that's the life that we live. Is that all right? Yes. So, here's a question I'm gonna pose to the panel. How do you feel about non-writers using graffiti as their art form?
I personally I don't feel offended by it. I feel more flattered that they actually paying homage to us. They paying homage in a sense, so I'm not offended at all. It's flattering. That's what I think is flattering.
And the reason why I ask that question, we're gonna come across here the rest of our panelists, because this question comes up all the time in conversation. And so if you want to be accepted, you want to create a platform where people will want to come into your environment. For instance, I'm gonna run into a lot of artists when I was an artist in Philadelphia who said they were graffiti artists, but I knew that they hadn't been in the tunnels or under bridges or any place like that. So then I did not accept that. But the more you think about it, at the same time we say we want the world to accept us. Right?
Right.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I think that they had to start somewhere.
Mhm.
That's the gateway to becoming an artist. A lot of people, a lot of us are involved with this culture because of peer pressure and attention seekers. The peer pressure derives from probably where you live at. You're subjected to gang war warfare, the gangs in your neighborhood. If you're not part of them, they whip your ass. You beat you up, take advantage of you. You can't beat them, you join them. You're there just because you want to get along with everybody. Doesn't necessarily mean that you really want to be there. So you find guys like me, Cone, Zub, and Lewis, Crazy, Sank, these guys. Dress up, get sharp, go out, drive nice cars, wear dress clothes, nice clothes, chase girls and party, enjoy life. A lot of gang members didn't do that. They didn't do that. At one time, they controlled the streets. And the teenagers of Philadelphia, I wouldn't say necessarily eradicated the gangs, but became more involved with the culture. Teenagers in Philadelphia in the 60s underwent a unique experience unlike any other city in America. Close to 100,000, maybe 150,000, 20,000 involved themselves in social uprise, and we adopted college fraternity names to identify ourselves. And this was a city-wide movement. In the 60s, before this, in the 66, I came home in 67. I gave birth to the culture in 65 by way of reform school. When I came home, there was no graffiti on the walls. We did not use the word graffiti because there was none. The only thing you seen was gang graffiti, who wrote their names on the walls to identify their turf. When I was in reform school, I wrote my name beside gang members' names to be recognized. And we established rapport with respect for each other. And they insisted that I come to their neighborhood and drink wine with them when I came home in 67. When I came home in 67, I never went anywhere by the spray paint. I walked the city writing cornbread everywhere. At that same time, Philadelphia had a movement regarding hip hop, but we didn't use the word hip hop. The foundation was already established. Everything that New York does with hip hop is what Philly was doing at the same time. Rapping is nothing new. We was rapping. B-boy dancing is nothing new. They was dancing by way of cha-cha. Graffiti is nothing new. They've been graffiti doing graffiti since the beginning of time. We dressed up. The DJs was Butterball, Georgie Woods. The first DJ was Jocko Henderson.
They right.
This is way before it got to New York. This movement went on, this movement went on for years. When I came home,
That's right, B.
when I came home in '67, I joined this movement and put flavor to it by way of graffiti writing. I was in Delta Phi Soul, and I converted every member of Delta Phi Soul to a war writer. We became we band together like a symphony orchestra, and we just wrote our names everywhere. We were Delta Phi Soul, we had college, we adopted college was charging their names. This was a citywide movement. I mean, the whole city. We had an annual convention in Atlantic City at an event called Omega by the Sea. We went down to Atlantic City during that summer, before the casinos was built. There was a lot of hotels. The hotels had ballrooms, and every ballroom there was a battle. We were dancing, stepping, rapping. That was the first wave of the hip hop revolution. The teenagers in the street fraternity in Philadelphia. This is years before it got to New York. At that same time, what was going on, what we was doing at that same time, you know what was going on in New York? American Gangster. You know what American Gangster is about? American Gangster tells you a story about what happened to New York. At the same time, drug culture, the drug culture. At the same time, Philadelphia had 100,000 teenagers. Philadelphia street fraternity that controlled the streets. That culture had not migrated to New York as of yet. When it got to New York, those same people who fund that drug culture in New York, our culture went right in the pit of their midst, and graffiti. I mean, the hip hop there was taken to another level.
So what you're saying, Corey, is our culture should be inclusive.
Well, you can't keep it to yourself. You can't keep it to yourself. It's going to mind you.
Let me ask you a question. Would you say you are a part of the cause of stopping gang warfare because you got all the writers from different neighborhoods?
No, such is not the case. Such is not the case. It was a
Call it truce?
No. It was a movement, man. Like a lot of blacks were like converting from the state of mind to Islam. People was going from Islam to college to culture. Those guys were really growing up.
Colin, what are your thoughts on that, Colin?
From when I'm thinking, I don't have any problem with
You want me to restate the question?
No, I remember. I don't have no problem with people that want to be like like us or use our, it's never been a graffiti artist. Because I find myself now, I'm not writing on walls and stuff, but I Photoshop. I might take something that I seen somewhere else and put my name on it like I wrote it on the wall or something like that. Make a t-shirt or something like that, make some money out of it, you know what I mean? So, from that aspect, I look at it as being, they're giving us a little props in a way, you know what I mean? Or they're giving us a little in, or giving us a round we didn't have before, you know what I mean? So I'm thankful for that too. Yeah.
It was like an escape route. A lot of kids, come up, didn't play sports. They wasn't entertainers. They wasn't into drugs. They wasn't into gangs. But out of town to have a workshop, and you sit around and you bored, and you have mischievous in your heart, and you want to do something.
I'm really excited because this subject has always been coming up, but in behind closed doors, at the writers' meetings, when we run into other artists from various disciplines, and I think it's something that just needs to be brought out so the world can hear that. And I'm excited also that Dawood is here and he's going to share his thoughts on that question.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because that's something that I feel like, hey, I was that dude. You know what I'm saying? Because I came, like I said, I came after that era. And me coming up as a youngster, I always wanted to, I always knew I wanted to draw. And the graffiti, you growing up in Philly, it's around you. You're going to see it regardless, if you're doing it or not doing it. So there's a lot of artists out here who got a hand for writing, but they're just not writing. They may not want to take the risk or, you know, they just like the artistic style of it. And then you got those, hey, I'm bold, I'm gonna get out there, I'm gonna do, you know, I'm gonna go all city, I'm gonna get these rallies and whatnot, and that's what they do. And so if we talk about like 80s to 90s, you know, a lot of us were much younger. So when you talk about being much younger, we're gonna have like confrontational language. You know, you hear about somebody, you get mad before you even meet them, like, what, who's that guy? What's he do? You know what I mean? So I'll say I segued into it because, you know, I was a fine artist through high school, but I was also into the style of writing because I was around writers. You know, they just sat right next to me in high school, and I was getting my hand styles then. And when I was in Jersey, this one brother from T-Neck actually taught me how to airbrush. And at that time, that was like 83. And when I came back to Philly, nobody was airbrushing in Philly. And I just happened to land that position at the Gallery Mall where the brother Marshall Jackson, shout out to him, I haven't seen him in decades, but that brother gave me an opportunity at 19 years old to airbrush right there at the mall, right at the food court. And that changed my life because prior to that, I haven't drawn in front of people. Other than my friends at school, but here you get the general public standing behind you. And I was meeting everybody from rappers and graffiti writers to illustrators, you know, students, whatever. And so you have a lot of people that come down, you know, hey, what you write, this, that, and other thing. And I knew I had a hand for writing. And I ain't gonna lie, there's times where it's like, you know, okay, I'm gonna get mine here and there, but the reason why it didn't take off for me in that direction is because of my parents. I knew my dad would tighten me up if he caught me, you know, if he caught me writing and whatever. It's like, hey, we support you in all your art stuff. But he did, but he wasn't against graffiti style. He just said, what my dad taught me was, whatever you do, just own it. So I became of that era where I was like, okay, I like this. How about I always wanted to like take, because on the shirts I was doing the graffiti styles, but I was profiting from it. And I was promoting it, and I respected the people who did it. We were all friends. You see what I'm saying? So when those debates come up, there's a lot of people out there who were airbrushing, who were taking the styles from the street and turning it into a business. And to me, I also was coming from the mind state of, in the black community anyway, we pioneer things that comes out of our pain, it comes out of our lack of having something, and then everybody else profits from it, and then we end up watching it play out in front of us, and we're still talking about who's the best in the neighborhood, and while we're still fighting over that, other people are going to the bank and making billions off of our mind power, off of our creativity. So when me and my brother started, and I'm gonna wrap this up, when we started Big City Comics, Brother Man was really, I always wanted to see a comic with graffiti in it, and it wasn't like that in the 80s. So I said, hey, let's make a book, and this book was about us. Let's create our own world, and in that world, there's graffiti on the walls, but we own it. You see what I'm saying? Then after that started to spawn all these other, we had movie deals, everything coming at us in that time. So now you see Spider-Verse and things like that. At that time, Marvel wasn't checking for street art. You see what I'm saying? So when we do things, that's the vision I had back then, was let's create our own institution so then we can hire those writers, and not just writers, artists that we know who probably can't get an opportunity at Sony. They can't get an opportunity at Pixar or whatever, but they can come to Big City Comics. That was the mindset. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I said I didn't really get into these tit for tat arguments, because I felt like as a visionary, a lot of people, they don't see the full scope of what you're trying to do when you're talking about liberation through this urban underground evolution. You see what I'm saying?
Thank you very much. there is a question that hinges on what you just said, and it wraps it up. And it's a question of marketability and industry. And our theme this evening is from here to fame. It sounds like an oxymoron because all of these writers are famous. Am I correct? Can someone support that? All the writers in here are. We did not look for it, we took it actually. You know, and so since our subject is from here to fame, you already have street celebrity, street notoriety, street fame. So what can we do to, in light of Dawood's explanation, take it to the next level? Because here is where you're already a celebrity. So there is where we're going. So how do we get there? Let's start with Cone on this.
A good way to start there. Oh, that's a tough, because I look at the city now, man. I just want to clean up K&A. I just want to stop the gun violence and everything. So I would want to start some kind of art institutions for people to be creative. I like to see some free walls where artists could probably sign up, and we just change them every now and then, like I've seen in some other cities. Yeah, they got it in California. I've seen too, where they got them up there too. I would like to see some stuff like that. I'd like to see some of us get some NFTs and get some money out of them. You know, it's money in putting your stuff in NFTs now. I'd like to see some people get some LLCs, buy their name and stuff so you can make money out of that stuff one day, or it's generational wealth. And I'd like to see our city do better, man. I remember when our city was better, and it's sad to see how we're gonna get better. You know, it's gonna take one day at a time, but hopefully we get there before I die or before we go. Or, you know, I got all these great grandkids and grands now, so maybe they have a brand new day. But yeah, I'm looking forward to change in a positive way for everybody, and more jobs and more everything, and people get off drugs. And, you know, it's just kind of rough right now. But we're gonna get there. We're gonna get over this hump right here.
What are your thoughts on that, Cornbread?
I think that one thing for sure and two things for certain, that things change, people change, and time change. And what we have established in the world by way of this culture, it's going to fade. It's going to lose itself in time unless we do something about that. And what I mean by that is we need to chapter ourselves globally. Like, for example, RCP. If you had a chapter of RCP, just as the Zulu Nation does, the Zulu Nation has chapters all over planet Earth. In fact, on the 6th of November, I'll be leaving here, going to Italy by way of the Zulu Nation, who's paying for me to get there, hotel, art exhibition, and be coming home. If we don't do anything with who we are to reserve with what we got, it's going to fade. We need to chapterize ourselves globally.
So?
I agree with everything Cone and Cornbread said, and Dawood. I think we should empower ourselves a little bit more in our communities. As far as cleaning the communities up, a lot of our peers got caught up in the drug epidemic, you know, and I just think that we should just unite even more, and just, it's about unity in the community. Go back how it used to be. Well, how it used to be back in the day. Everybody had respect for our elders, and the blocks were clean. We wasn't afraid to talk to the young bucks and tell them, hey, you know, don't do that. I know my elders would say, hey, You know, back in the day, we smoked weed and drank beer. We put that away because Aunt May or somebody in West Atlanta, or somebody come down the street, we respect our elders. I think we need to go back to that. Respect. Do unto others as you want them to do unto you. You know what I mean? Respect your household, respect your community, respect your neighbor, respect your city, and I think we all can just get along as one. Every race, every nationality, we should just come together, and we need to start with those aspects first. And I just think that, you know, before you even go to the art, because I see a lot of writers, they just respect the murals, beautiful murals that's put up. And you know, that's creativity. You shouldn't go over there and put no throw-ups, no pieces, no tags. It's all about respect. We used to have the mantra of, it was called the city of brotherly love. Now we are called the city of brotherly shove, because we need to get out of that and turn things around and do a 180. And I think that's what we need to do, unite, and everything will come together as one. That's what I think.
Y'all, would you like to wrap up that question?
What we can do, what we can do now?
Yes, that's the reason why it hinged on what you were stating. That's why I want to come and start and then come back, because you actually set the stage for that question.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, what brother said here is legit. You know, what we need to do, I think a lot of us are doing, because when you think about like the levels and the stages of the graffiti, and the graffiti being birthed in vandalism, which is that way of somebody showing like, hey, I'm here. You know what I mean? 'Cause what's Instagram? Instagram is just everybody trying to show people that they're here, right? What if Instagram is illegal, but you can build all this following, but it's accessible to you? People would probably still use it and take that chance because millions of people will see me. It's the same thing, you know? So, same thing meaning that people want to be seen. People have stories to tell. People, you're sitting at home, I'm an artist, but I don't have any outlet. So, hey, I can do what that guy's doing, and he's getting accolades. I want to go out and I want to get accolades. So really at the end of the day, it's about creating avenues and places where young people and adults and elders, because even when we're older, we still creative, we still want to shine, we still want to tell stories. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do that till the day we die. You know what I mean? So I think, and this is just, I guess, the journey that I'm walking on. Like, I don't just say, here's what other people should do. I do it and I set the example. So my objective is to, I see the arts and the medium of art, animation. Currently now I'm a director of animation on an animated series, and I'm learning a lot more now in terms of storytelling and taking it to another level, because I want to create an institution where I can create opportunities for a lot of young people who may be out there bombing, and even if they're not bombing, like I was saying, you have some young kids and they may be feeling deterred now, like, well, where can I go? Where can I go? No, nobody hears me, nobody sees me, and I want to create something where, and I feel like I've already done it in many ways, and I know a lot of other people who are doing it, and I think we just have to continue to, like Sub was just saying, spread positivity and in tangible ways, like create something where it's a place that young people can come, be it virtually or tangibly. Like you can actually mentor a young person, or you can do it online, because that's what young people want. They want to know that somebody cares about them. They want to know that they can take care of themselves. They can, buy things that they want to buy. And I forgot who said it earlier, but a lot of people give into the peer pressure because they're not around other people that are showing them another way to go. So, and I think also with the pioneers here, because their stories are so valuable, these are all $1 million stories. You see what I'm saying? And you just heard their stories. I know there's people in this room, they all got $1 million stories. Write your memoirs, publish those books, because everybody published books about us, but we have to publish the books ourselves, and then we make the money. So that go. You see what I'm saying? And then once they get set off of that, then they can greenlight whatever they want to greenlight. So it's each generation is uplifting the next generation, and the next generation, these young kids, they're gonna figure out another way to do it better than me, and I welcome that. So, I guess I'll wrap it up on that, because I can go on and on and on. I want to let people get home.
Are you still excited?
Yeah.
Well, I think I'm having more fun than everybody in here tonight. We're going to, thank you, guys. We're going to pose our closing question. And to move things expeditiously along, after you've answered the questions, I'm going to walk from the podium, and Mr. Phil Osbury will return and take the discussion and the program from there. Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right. So, this question is, and I've been giving this much thought over the years, at least 30 years, being a writer, and we're a family. And at one point, we all competed against each other with passion and anger and fright. So our names will go down in infamy. So we will have what is called a reputation. So my question to the panel is, what blueprint do you want to leave for the next generation? What do you want to tell the next generation? Because just writers, you may meet, and you probably recognize a face, or you've never seen it before, but they look at you like it's famous. So what would you leave to the next generation? We'll start with you, Sal, because you look like you're ready to jump out of that chair.
First of all, we need to teach with the newer writers. When you see like an old tag, it might be like a Notorious Big or Parish or the Sank or Crazy. You can't write over those guys. These guys still exist. You know, we still cherish those moments. Every time we put a tag up, we told a story back in the day. Whether we got chased by the cops or whatever, you know, everything is a story. Don't go over nobody's tags. And at the end of the day, it's about respecting one another. You know, just respecting one another. And focus on going back to styles. You know, going back to styles. Just don't put your name up. You know, don't be, I wasn't the best writer and I'm still learning. But I was, you know, just don't be a toy going out there just doing anything. You know what I'm saying? You got back in the day with Notorious Big and all that, with Maniac and all them, they just bust out with hands. With me, my stuff was just oaky and goofy in the beginning. I was still trying to learn the new style, which was the Wicked, which was Notorious Big and Maniac and Croc and Jab and all them did. You know what I mean? I was still trying to do the gangster hand. But master your craft. Whatever you do, whether it's piecing, whether it's hand styles, just master your style, master your craft, and you will be respected and known for years to come down the line in the future.
Your thoughts on the Magic Cornbread?
Yes, I think that it started
What
here.
blueprint would you want to leave for the next generation?
The blueprint,
Yes.
it should be a positive blueprint that the following generation will want to follow. It should be a blueprint that they would cherish, want to be part of, educate themselves by way of, and leave it for the generation that's to follow them.
I go back to the days of May Lewis, Cornbread, Karate, some of those old guys. I know I hear stuff about people writing over each other's name and all that stuff. We didn't do that. I mean, it was more space then too, so. It was actually more space, and we was afraid to go different places. Like now you can just write your name, eating a cheese stick in one hand and the spray paint can in another hand. But I mean, in them days, you know, it's just amazing how I see everything transcend. And I can't imagine where it's going now, but like Brad said, we don't like honor and respect each other and try to be one with this graph world, you know, we might fade because, you know, things happen so fast now, man, and things moving so fast, we could be in another war. We don't know. Third World War. Things are moving around us so fast. But I just hope that people make money out of it. That's what I want to see. A lot of us, you know what I mean, we started it, we been there before hip hop and all that, and we didn't get a penny out of it, but what we got on the streets, you know what I mean? So I like to see us get more involved in videos, movies. I like to see a movie about Philadelphia Graph because if I look at New York and all of them, they got movies and stuff about Graph, but we don't have a movie about our history of Graph. I mean, we in the book of Wall Riders, I mean, that tells our story, but how many people read that? You know what I mean? So we need to get something on film, we need to get some documentaries going on, and I like to see some of that. I like to be a part of that, you know, while I'm here. And I just want to see us have more respect for us and try to be more of kind people. Now, you know, everybody in a hurry going nowhere. When you're driving, you ain't going nowhere but the next light. You know what I mean? So we need to start thinking about put other people in the same place as we are. You know what I mean? Because all of us, you know what I mean? We are just trying to make it.
Blueprint, next generation.
Blueprint. Well, here's one of them. This is Brother Man Revelation.
I like that.
We're going Amazon, pick it up. Brother Man Revelation, book 1. And actually, the Brother Man comic series, it was basically the whole, and this ties into the Blueprint because it was rooted in our experiences growing up in Philly, but it was an alternate universe. So it's like you're stepping into another dimension. You know, a lot of people are doing all that stuff now, but we were on that back in 89, 90 when we came out with this. So it was so far ahead in terms of people processing where does this take place? But I call it dream state mythology. It's like what you see in a dream. Like there's you can see your mom, you can see your uncles, you can see your cousins, all that stuff. But you know, it's different. It's a different world. So to me, I think of the legacy to be, well, my blueprint, my legacy, I term drawing from the soul. Basically, when I created, my brother, we went out and did our thing. We didn't care about what anybody else was doing. We didn't care about the comic industry. We didn't care about who's gonna buy it, who's not gonna buy it. It's like, I wanna see this, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna follow through and make it. You see what I'm saying? Because I think, and I say drawn from the soul because everybody has like a story to tell. Even if you don't think you do, only you have your story to tell. So even with AI and all the stuff that people, you know, they get all nervous and whatever, I say AI can't tell your story because it doesn't know you. It hasn't been where you've been. And we can't deflate our stories, our parents' stories, our grandparents. And Cone, you just said it, the story about Philly. Like, nobody did that. Yo, that's dope. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, we can't always be, and with social media, you can easily wake up in the morning and shrink when you see how good everybody is out there. Because when we were coming up, we just didn't know what people were doing. I didn't know what people were doing in Germantown or North Philly, whatever. I just knew what was happening in my house. But it gave me a certain peace that I'll just draw. I'm not worrying about competing. You see what I'm saying? I was drawn from the soul. I wasn't caring about other people. But then when you get so engulfed in what everybody else does, your influence is outside in as opposed to inside out. I'm trying to compete with him now. I'm trying to compete with them. And then you never show the world who you are. So that's what the whole purpose of what I was doing with my art, Big City Comics, Big City Entertainment, the things that I talk to children now about. I said, hey, tell your story. I don't know who you are. I don't know about your parents. You have that story to tell. You see what I'm saying? So I want that to be the legacy for us to think for ourselves, do for ourselves, and profit at the end of the day from what we've created about ourselves.
Thank you, Dawood. Thank you, Sub. Cornbread.
Thank you.
Cone. Dawood again. guys, you here, you in the room, guy? Right.
Oh, me? Yeah, I'm right here. Yeah, I'm right here. I'm filming.
Okay, all right. It's Dawud's brother, I just had to acknowledge it.
Okay.
Earlier, I was supposed to mention my relationship with everybody in the panel. I'm gonna do this in 60 seconds. Sub, we met in the early 80s. He came to my house and versed me, you know.
Truck and tips.
Yeah, Chuck said, oh, this is Guy, man, you know, he's better than you in style. Sub came to my house, I beat him up real good.
Yeah.
He's been taking lessons ever since.
This guy got to be one of the best graffiti poets in the city.
Yes, I get him every night around 3 o'clock.
All right, I appreciate that. Thanks, Frank. Thank you. And let me just say one thing. Sank is one of the youngest old timers that we ever met. He wrote with legends. He wrote with Fox and Tank. He used to write Little Fox.
Yes,
They don't
yes.
even know that. Back in '74, and he was like 6 years old, right?
He was 9. And so Cornbread, now see, Cornbread, we met, and actually the first time I met him in person was at the Anti-Graffiti Network. And we shook hands and did introductions, and then about a year later, I was destroying the city, and I ran into him on the train, and I said, Cornbread, I'm destroying the city. He says, every dog has his day. And Conan and I've heard about him, you know, I was probably 13, 14. I mean, just like a giant to me. And I was shocked to actually meet you at the 50th anniversary of International Council of Persuaders. Appreciate it. And he's a legend, and we will care for him. Is that right? That's right. Thank you. And Dawood, you know, we go way, way back. And we took pictures of each other's work, and he ate at my house, I ate at his house. I got to meet his family, and we went down into the basement with those Liquitex acrylics, and the game was on. Denim jackets. So thank you. I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight, and thank you for this space and this opportunity to share. And I'm going to turn it to Phil, our director.
I want to say something before you turn it over to him.
Yes, sir.
My buddy Phil Asbury, he's been a great asset to the program. I mean, to the community. Merrill Arts. I was at his office maybe about a month ago, and I did not know that he is a great artist as I see his work. And because of his outstanding assistance helping me put together the Achievement Award celebration, I had to give him his award.
All right.
This is a certificate of achievement awarded to Phil Asbury. He's a street artist for the 3rd day of September 2023. From me to you, brother.
All right.
Better late than never. Better late than never. Yeah.
Emperor Steve.
Trying to make me blush over here. Can we give a round of applause for Master Frank? Cornbread, thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome.
So we want to open it up for Q&A. If you raise your hand, I could come down and bring you a mic. Any questions? I know you guys got them.
I just would like to say, you know, Brother Man Comics. Is it on?
Yes.
Okay. Brother Man Comics, I mean, meant the whole world to me, bro. Growing up, when I would see print and stuff in there, I would go crazy. Yeah. I mean, for like years, I couldn't even find the comic book. I would go everywhere. Where's Brother Man? They're like, what are you talking about? I said, the best comic book in the world. Brother Man, it's something. Yo, I really love your art. Thank you very much.
Tell them who you are.
Thank you, Rob Long.
That's Rob right there. That's the man.
And then, we need to try to see if we can get a couple of these recreation centers open for the kids so we can get them off the street. We need to fund these kids, help them, the senior citizens of our kids. We just ain't doing much. I mean, we need some help, man. You know, we need to help with the committee, man, you know. State representatives need to step up and help us, man. But if the kids ain't got nowhere to go, what's going to do? They're gonna run out there and get hurt, and killed out there, man. You know, we need some school, arts and crafts, you know, the cooking, the wood shop. All the programs still could be in effect, man, you know? We just need some help out there, man, you know? You know? That's all we can do is to support it, you know? But we need somebody to help us.
Good mentorship.
You know?
Notorious Bit.
No, to piggyback on what, my ex-bodyguard Saint just said, we do need to do something to help these youngsters coming up, but we can't just depend on politicians to do it. Sometimes we gotta do it ourselves. We had started that, if you remember, a while ago with GraphX, about giving them back. Maybe we should bring that back. I don't have to be the president, but maybe we should bring that back. I would gladly be a part of that. Just think about it.
That's something to think about.
That's good. Go ahead, B.
Crazy. I would like to greet everybody. Peace. My name is TJ. ACS Hip City Swingers. And I want to pay homage.
Just TJ.
TJ.
I want to pay homage to the past and the present. And then the last question that was said about a blueprint, my thoughts on it is that what should be overemphasized to the children that's coming up now, that rights, that get something out of it, and the danger and the do's and don'ts of it. That, you know, things will happen and can happen. You could be in prison, et cetera, et cetera. It ain't sweet. But to get the benefit of it, when you get the benefit of it, I mean, we have people here, I don't need to name names, but they became something. Stained glass makers, artists, Smithsonian Institution, et cetera. It's something was accomplished from it, but not just to be destructive. Constructive is what we did, and that's what we gotta be. Right.
All right.
That's right.
Destructive to constructive.
Alright, so I had two questions, I guess. One, how do you guys feel when you see like a bus or a train and the advertisement is basically like a top and bottom? It's like they done took over trains now with advertisements and you know, at one point that was like, you know, you get arrested or jail for that, but now it's like a form of advertisement. Like what was your thoughts when you seen that first train or that first bus with like basically a top and bottom advertisement on it?
Let me chime in on that. They definitely made money off it, and with mainstream, what we used to do for pastime or you know, getting rep, they took our ideas and they went mainstream with that and made millions of dollars. And all of them here that did all that stuff, we sort of like robbed. They robbed us. Cornbread and corn and they just, you know, they took it and they just ran with it. We didn't get a dime.
I remember when them first came out, what we did, we used to go to the bus barn late at night on a Sunday or whatever, and we'd turn them cardboard, them advertisements around, and we'll make our own advertisement. So Monday morning, everything come down the street, got Cool Cone, Cornbread, Lewis, Crazy, and all of us. Thank everybody name on that thing, man. But
they gonna start advertising on the roof in a minute. Just like they advertise on
in
the
New York and all that,
They do that.
Yep. They gonna steal that. Yep. They got it from us.
That's why we have to commercialize our own products. Like Daoud said in Cone, and what Cornbread is doing too, commercialize our home products. Be in control of our own fate and destiny.
I guess my.
And it's generational wealth for your families and stuff like that when you're not here, you know what I mean?
And you have also spoken about NFTs, I heard about those
Yes,
too.
yes.
We need some help.
Well, I have t-shirts for sale, ladies and gentlemen.
We already know that.
I have medium, large, extra large, and 2X.
I'm sorry, I guess my.
And I got the Billy Legend pins.
Why don't we do some raffles on your t-shirts, man? How about we do that?
He's a rapper, brother. No, but this culture is a beautiful thing. It's an outlet for poor people who doesn't have a direction or guidance, who's in under peer pressure and who have artistic skills. This is an outlet. I get letters from people from all over the world who chose to follow this culture as a drugs and guns and hurting people. It's definitely
We have another question, brother over there.